Our planetary daddies are having quite the discussion. So let's talk about it. My name is Tigris. I am the Sky Witch, and I love talking about all things stars and magic. And so if you find yourself astro curious, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more videos like this. We are talking about the period between July 15th and July 22nd, when four outer planets are coming together for an incredible conversation. Like, this isn't the kind of conversation that happens every week, every month, or even every year. This is like substantial big energy. And the fact that it's happening not just between one or two planets, but like four planets, that packs a bit of a punch for it. In this video, we're going to talk about it from the planet Neptune's perspective. Okay, Neptune is in the sign of Aries. It actually just fully moved into the sign of Aries in April. And so it is very likely that this area of your life that represents Aries has recently felt like it has been completely flooded. Neptune already has hit its 4-degree mark. 4 degrees is where all of these planets are. But because it recently stationed retrograde, it's going to start moving backwards. And as a result, it's going to touch all of these planets in a very direct way, kind of at the same time, right? Like, it's going to message Uranus, and then it's going to message Jupiter, and then it's going to message Pluto. And this kind of like banter is going to be happening. Neptune is a really confusing energy. It can be foggy or floody. And it could be likely that in this group chat, it has added an element of confusion to things. Right? It is the one that's kind of clouding some of the information, maybe kind of like keeping things hidden through the mist. Right? Like, it's not purposely trying to it's not like secretly stashing something away. It's just a misty, foggy, cloudy energy that naturally brings confusion. It doesn't have to. Neptune is also a very creative energy. It's a very imaginative energy. It is a very spiritual energy. But, a tsunami is a tsunami, and when it hits, it's going to hit. And again, many of you, as it moved into Aries, which is a new area of life for you, might have felt like this new area of life has just flooded substantially. It has been knocked over. And while that initial whoosh has come and gone, that doesn't mean that the aftermath isn't there. A side tangent, because my entire town flooded on solstice. And just to put into perspective Neptunian energy, on the summer solstice, the day that the sun moved into Cancer, Neptune was at 4 degrees of Aries, and it created this formation, which is a square formation. And it was actually kind of beautiful to think that the beginning of Cancer season, which is a water sign, when the sun moved into it, Neptune squared it and said something has to change, and flooded so much. And that came up quite literally for my entire town. We had this huge flooding. Now, it's July 9th, so it's been several weeks since that initial flooding, but my basement is still wet. The town basement is still wet. There are still pumps in different areas to help support the town's water infrastructure. Just because the flood is finished, as in we're not actively flooding anymore, doesn't mean that there isn't still work to do. And as Neptune stationed into this retrograde motion, outer planets are in a retrograde motion for about half the year. So this isn't like a common or a big or a crazy thing. But at the moment that it's stationing retrograde, it's definitely pulling our focus. And because it's having these big conversations with these other planets, it is demanding attention. I still have to clean up the water in the basement. The town still has to figure out the piping for the infrastructure. just because the initial damage is done doesn't mean that we're finished cleaning up the aftermath of everything. Okay? So Neptune, as this conversation is happening, is going to be bringing kind of like a different perspective than some of the other planets, because where, for example, Neptune and Jupiter are moving forward, Neptune is considered to be moving backwards. And in that process, it's retracing all of these steps. So as the conversation happens, Neptune is the one who is going to say, well, what about these other things? Uranus just wants to like drive it home forward. It's in Gemini, it's moving really quickly. We'll talk about that in a different video. Neptune is a little bit slower, it's moving a little bit differently. It wants to think about different things. In its connection to Uranus, which is called a sextile, it's actually going to be the first connection that happens in this July 15th to 22nd period. It's kind of like a cute little wink. Uranus's energy is very, how do I describe it? It's kind of like rebellious. It's that like hunger inside of you that draws you towards change and draws you towards that sense of freedom. And so Neptune's just taking a little like look and being like, hey buddy, not a great winker, did that work? But yeah, it's a quick little moment of sweetness. They're trying to figure out how they can work together to adjust some of these things. But again, it is Uranus moving forwards and Neptune moving backwards, and just trying to say, what are the ways that we can appropriately shake things up? Neptune's creativity is also going to be coming into a nice harmonious flow with Jupiter. And Jupiter is all about expansion. It wants us to grow. It wants us to reach for what's further and what's next. There is an opportunity when Neptune and Jupiter come into this connection to lean into that absolutely beautiful, imaginative creativity and expand it in really warm, charismatic ways. And that's because Jupiter is in Leo, and Leo is this very warm, caring, loving place. Maybe like I'm like trying to figure out how to like re-articulate that, because it's not like I'm such a caring person for everybody, but it does care a lot. Leo tends to care for itself a little bit more than it cares for others, but that's okay, because self-care and self-love is such an important part of our human experience. And it's having this harmonious flow. I will give you a small warning on that one though, because when Neptune and Jupiter do come together in this harmonious way, they can lean into overindulgence. And so while it is lovely and beautiful to indulge, it is also lovely and beautiful to make sure that you do not overindulge, because we're making good choices. That's what we're doing here. We are learning about what's happening in the world around us so that we can better understand what's happening with the world in intersection with us, so that we can make the best choices for us. It's going to be a little difficult because Neptune is confusing. It's indulging. So let's not look at all of the tangible things. Let's take a moment and say, well, if things are going to be a little confusing in this conversation, but creative, how can I lean into that creative energy so that I can gain things that I need to gain and make future better choices? Neptune is also in connection with Pluto. All planets, all these four planets, all four planets are at 4 degrees of their respective signs. And so as Neptune comes up to Pluto, that's where things are going to start to get deep. Sometimes things are confusing because they're too far away, and we need to get a little bit closer in order to gain better perspective. And Pluto is like as deep as we can get. And Pluto in Aquarius is like as far out of bounds as we can get. Right? If we know everything that we know, We know all that we know, and Aquarius represents everything on the other side of that boundary. This is what we know. This is what we don't know. This is Aquarius. And Pluto is deep into Aquarius right now. And so if you imagine that there is something down here, this is the hidden thing, like really fully hidden. And Neptune has, created some sort of fog around what's there. The sun's not involved in this. It's not an illumination type thing. There is something hidden in that darkness, and we may or may not find out what it is because of how it's hidden. Now, we might find what it is because Uranus and Jupiter are right there. That's the reason why it being such like a vast outer planet conference is so important. If it was just Neptune and Pluto, it would be a whole different experience. But Uranus wants things to shift and change. Jupiter wants things to expand and grow and heal. So how do we take all of these different energies? Let's see through the fog into the deep, dark, hidden places. Find out what exactly it is that we need to expand on, and then lean into it in new and innovative ways so that we can follow our life's journey in the most authentic, capable way that we can. All right. That is the video for Neptune. If you want to hear a little bit more about it from the other planets' perspectives, you can check out some of my other videos. Otherwise, make sure to hit like and share this video. And you know what? I want to hear about this from you. So drop a comment and tell me where your Neptune is, because that might tell us a little bit more information on what kind of things Neptune is going to be talking about. All right. I love you so much. Good luck.